Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, on my channel, I'm always telling you guys, live an active lifestyle, make smart nutritional choices, move more, sit less, right? Fight against that laziness. It's not about perfection, but about consistency. It's not about what you look like in the mirror, but about how you feel, right? That's the key, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes people will ask me, about eating and when they should eat in relation to their exercise. So we've talked about, or, I'm sure you guys have heard things like intermittent fasting, or working out on an empty stomach, not waking up and eating. And I've talked about this stuff, right? So I've told you guys, there are many, many mornings that I do not eat breakfast. And I told you, if you're not hungry in the morning, you don't have to eat breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to eat it. Is breakfast important? Yes, to a degree. But it depends on the individual, and it depends on your routine, and it depends on how you're feeling. I'm telling you guys, that's the key. Sometimes we eat breakfast. Sometimes we just eat in general when we really shouldn't be eating, when we're not really hungry. We think we're hungry, but we're not really hungry. We've gotten used to just eating and eating and eating, especially in America, that we think it's normal to eat all this food at once, to constantly be eating food, when a lot of us are not even doing anything with that food. So we're putting all this fuel in our body, but we're not doing anything out there. We're not being active. We're just sitting around, and this creates a problem. So when we're thinking about eating, talk about things like intermittent fasting, we talk about when we should eat in relation to working out. And I've told you guys, sometimes in the morning, I don't eat breakfast. So a routine for me could go, if I'm exercising, I wake up in the morning, I go into my routine, right? I do my exercise. And then sometimes I might have breakfast after I'm done working out. Sometimes I won't. Maybe sometimes I'll make a protein shake and I'll bring it to work with me and I'll drink it on my way to work. And then when I get to work, I'm good. Then maybe on lunchtime, I might have an apple for lunch. And guys, that might be all I eat all day until, dinner time. I might have a dinner, a good dinner. Like I said, I'm very fortunate. My wife knows how to cook good and she hooks me up, man. But that might be a typical day for me, guys. That doesn't seem like a lot of food, right? And I'm more active than most people and I'm not eating all this crap. So these are the kind of things you have to think about. To me, when I exercise in the morning, I never eat before I exercise, especially if it's in the morning. If I'm working out in the morning, I wake up at 4 in the morning, guys. I'm usually exercising by about 4:15. So if I'm waking up in the morning, I'm not eating breakfast. There's no time for that, really. And besides, when I eat, I don't want to work out after I eat, right? You start to get that full feeling. For a lot of us, it's not good. So I work out on an empty stomach, and for me, that is great. And like I said, it really will prime your body, and your body will become used to it. Sometimes people will think that they need fuel to exercise, or, they got to wake up in the morning and they got to eat a bunch of food and then have that energy to go exercise. That's not necessarily the case, ladies and gentlemen. And when you're exercising in the morning after you've slept, let's say, or you're exercising after you're sleeping, when you've been fasting, and now you don't eat and you go right into your workout, that's going to help you lose fat, help you burn fat instead of, all this other stuff. And, instead of gaining fat, it's going to help you burn that fat, right? It's going to help you get rid of those calories, right? You're not going to have anything in your stomach. Your body's going to be able to zap right into this stuff for the energy that you're going to need to do exercise. This is what you want to think about. So you don't need to eat a bunch of meals before you eat. You don't need to eat at all before you exercise. Now, if you're working out in the afternoon or in the evening, then more often or more likely you have meals throughout the day or you've eaten throughout the day. But trying to eat right before you're exercising, an hour or two before you exercise, try not to eat anything. It will help you. I'm telling you guys right now, I feel great when I'm exercising, when I don't have any food in my stomach. I feel lighter. I feel like I can move better. But like I said, that's just me personally. But that's how I think about these things, right? So think about trying to exercise without eating, especially if you go in the morning. Try to go without eating. I told you, the only thing that I do in the morning when I wake up is I go into my normal routine, right? I make my bed in the morning. You guys know that I always talk about making my bed in the morning. I brush my teeth, I wipe the crust out my eyes, and then I always drink my water. I told you to start your day with water. Not coffee, not tea, not milk, not juice, none of this stuff. Definitely not soda. Start your day with water. That will prime your body. That will get everything moving. You drink that cup of water, that glass of water, and then all of a sudden, all the functions in your body start to operate. Your body starts to wake up, so to speak, man. So I always tell you, I wake up with water, and then I go into my routine. And get your music. Music will help you stay consistent. Music will help you stay positive or think about your exercise in a positive way. There's a reason why professional athletes and people all over the world exercise, play sports to music, right? Practice to music, because music helps you guys. It definitely does. When I'm exercising and, it's a rough morning, right? And I'm in here by myself and it's cold or it's, just one of those, like I said, rough mornings, man. That music will really get you going sometimes. It really will help you push yourself, to that next level or push yourself when you didn't even want to do anything. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to eat breakfast in the morning. You don't have to eat before you work out. Try not eating before you work out and see if that makes you feel any different. You probably will notice a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that.